one, get 'em!
Welcome back to this week's YouTube Live in the podcast. My name's RD. Welcome to the Waterfowl Den. This will be the last episode of 2025. So, welcome everybody to the last episode. Hopefully, everybody's doing good on this New Year's Eve. We're fixing to switch over into 2026. I hope everybody's ready for that. It's been a crazy year. Like I said before, when Thanksgiving rolled around, I said Christmas was going to be here a week later. Now it's New Year's, and whew, we're fixing to have to start erasing 2025 because, it'll take us 3 weeks before we write 26 on a date or a signature or a check. We get in the habit of writing 25 for so long. So here's to the rest of us that's going to be getting it wrong for the first 2 weeks. But hopefully everybody's doing good. There is a college football game on tonight. Miami's is playing Ohio State. Miami's ranked 10th and Ohio State's ranked 2. I got the score over here. I was watching it, but I can't play it and it go live while that's playing. I don't want my video to be took down, but it's still 0-0. So it ain't gonna be an extra long night tonight. Recapping some of the stuff in 2025, recapping a hunt that we just got back from, and talking about 2026. So, welcome. 2025. Wow. Let's see. Starting in 2025, we went out to, I'm pretty sure if Tony's in here in the chat, I think it's been a long year. I think in 2025, we started out in Oklahoma. I'm pretty sure it was 2025. Well, we did a road trip to Oklahoma, and then we hunted geese and ducks and pheasants out there, and then we came back through Reelfoot Lake up there with John Kincaid, and we hunted Reelfoot Lake, and then after waterfowl season, turkey season came along. I felt like it was a pretty rough turkey season. We did bag one for Tony. It was a pretty awesome moment. So then came summertime. I have had Tony on the privilege of on the show, and most of you know that he did have cancer this year. And then once he had his surgery, we found out my wife had cancer, and we, as on the show, we have talked about that many times, and they went and got her cancer out, and she's already rescheduled for next year's scan, so we'll be praying for that for sure. But this year's waterfowl season's already picked up. We've done a couple hunts, local like Santee, stuff like that. Not really great. Teal, with me and Tony and Matt and Andrew and Drew, we all went down early teal, hoping to get on them early teal, and it was just I don't know. This year was a letdown for early teal. Hopefully y'all been doing better than us, but me, Tony, and his brother, we just got back from Arkansas. I know I told y'all that we were going to Arkansas. We just got back. What day is this? Wednesday. So we got back yesterday. It's been man, that's a tough when you're going halfway across the United States. But we took our sons with us. If I didn't say it, he took his brother too. So Uh, the 6 of us went out to Arkansas. Uh, so we went down towards Atlanta and back up through Memphis and then into Arkansas. When we pulled into Arkansas, it was 78, maybe 80 degrees. Out in Arkansas, them flat countries, or flat states, what you want to call them. There's always wind blowing, so it felt a little bit cooler than it was, but we were hunting in t-shirts. We get there in Arkansas. Oh my gosh, I have never seen so many flooded fields, and I'm not talking like flooded fields like impoundments. Like there was a lot of them out there too, but just fields where they were had crop, and one side of the field would be lower and it would hold a little bit of water. Oh my gosh, there was birds everywhere. I know, I'm talking about everywhere. No matter what time we got there a day before we were hunting. There were geese flying over. I mean, like hundreds. You can hear them, you can see them. Snow geese everywhere, speckled bellies everywhere. Occasionally, you would see a duck. Like I said, the ducks were in the water. I mean, oh my gosh, the pintails everywhere. I mean, you could stop on the side of the road and record it. It was unreal. We get to the lodge, really nice lodge. I'm gonna have a video. I got all that. Obviously, I haven't even unloaded all that off of the GoPro yet. Cameras. Like I said, we got home yesterday and went to work, and then being on here, haven't had time to pull all that video off yet. But the first day, oh my gosh, it was foggy. When I say I personally don't like hunting in the fog, some people say that's their best time that they ever hunted. Uh, I personally don't like hunting in the fog. I have never had success in the fog. Never. So when I woke up and we walked outside, I was like, oh my gosh, the fog. Now, if some of y'all have arthritis, the fog is also not your friend. And so when I hit the outdoors, it was foggy. I'm talking about you couldn't hardly see in front of you. We get to a, it wasn't really a pond. They got a lot of levees and stuff like that for growing rice and all kind of different crops that they can flood. This area that we were at, uh, it was blocked off to whole water, knee deep at most. We get in the blind and you can't see nothing. I mean, the fog was so thick, uh, but birds, oh my gosh, you could hear them everywhere. Like you can, I mean, like mallards quacking. I mean, they were all above us. They would pop out of the fog, hit the for us maybe just to get a blimp. Oh no, back into the fog. I mean, they didn't even hit the water. It was bloop bloop gone. I mean, it was that fast. The fog was so thick. Once the sun came up a little bit, the fog did not let off. If anything, it got more fog. And the crazy thing was, if you were sitting in the blind or before we even got to the blind, if you looked up, you could see the stars. I mean, like, see the stars. That fog was so low. And that came from all the water that they have around there. Now I'm telling you, there is water everywhere. Like these whales, farmers' whales, for filling levees, for flooding fields, for crops and stuff, they are everywhere. There's drainage ditches, there's sloughs. I mean, they're when you go down the road, like the signs, like we would normally go over a bridge and it would be like RD's Creek or something like that. No, it was like West Slough, Right Slough, Highway 2000 something slough. Like they had all the sloughs named, and I'm sure if there was a wreck or something like that, they need to know which slough they're going to. But there were so many sloughs moving stuff. That hot temperature and the ground being cold created some terrible fog. Um, the fog never lifted. We were able to pull off one duck that morning. It was uh, a gray duck. Mine went blank. I got one sitting behind me, and I couldn't even think of it. So there was one gaddy pulled off. So we went back to the cabin lodge. That was at a little bit before lunchtime. We prepared for goose hunting that afternoon. We went out there to where the feed was, and I'm telling you, that was the feed. We were right beside the feed and trying to run interference, but man, the wind was ripping. I'm talking about ripping. I've never seen. Obviously, that's a big goose behind me, and speck and snows are a little bit smaller, but you would see that bird coming in, and if you went to go shoot or started shooting, one pitch of the wings and they were gone. I'm talking about as soon as they saw you, they would pitch and instantly back up 20 yards. I mean, that wind was blowing. Um, got a couple shots off that afternoon. Went back to the lodge, had some really good food. Uh, got a good night's sleep. We got up the next morning. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but that definitely is you definitely probably can't hear it because I got noise canceling on the mic. So let's see if I can turn that off for a second. See if we cancel that. Let's see. I see the mic moving, so maybe y'all hear that. You know it's that time of the year. Is it New Year's Eve? Is it gunshots? Is it fireworks? Is it a war? Don't be the people to call the police saying, "I hear gunshots." It's fireworks, just like the Fourth. And if you are a first responder, police, state trooper, fire, EMS, I'm praying for you tonight. Definitely, if you're not staying up to watch the fireworks and ring in the new year, definitely keep them people in your prayers because as a fire and EMS, that's a busy time of the year. And the cops, oh my gosh, and dispatchers, I cannot leave the dispatchers out. They get so many phone calls like, "Oh my God, they're shooting in the neighborhood." It's not. It's fireworks. So it's that time of the year, but I already hear them. It's 8 o'clock. They're gonna be shot them all before the new year. But the next day rolled around. We went out to the uh, same pond. First time ever hunting in a pit. And here in South Carolina, we are not allowed to hunt in a pit or a uh, curtain blind. And a curtain blind is, they put them out in the water, and basically your head is level with the water. A pit blind is basically a curtain blind, but way bigger. Um, Curtain blinds are allowed in North Carolina. I hope to one day hunt out of a curtain blind. That's pretty awesome to be able to stand eye level with water and actually get them decoying in is a whole nother view. Like this, like I said, this was the first time hunting out of a pit, and man, when your eyes are level with the water and seeing them coming in, it is a whole different perspective of waterfowl hunting. So, with that being said, we saw some pintails. I mean, oh my gosh, they were flying everywhere. Um, And I'm talking about, sometimes here in South Carolina, we might be like, was that a pintail? Not sure. There, I mean, like bulls. I mean, I kid you not. The one that got shot was the size of my hand. You can wait till you see the video on it. But they just would not decoy. They would avoid uh, all the decoys. I don't know if it was the spinners. I don't know. But we finally got some to come in, and two of them didn't leave out. Got it all on camera. Pretty awesome. Like I said, we took our sons with us. I was able to watch my son get his first teal. He winged one, crippled it, and that was pretty awesome. So the first day, let me go back to the first day. Um, y'all, most of you either know my son or seen him on videos. He's a little one. He is he's a little run at the moment. Uh, First day he didn't shoot. Like he would come up and go to shoot, but he would never pull the trigger. And I'm like, buddy, you gotta pull the trigger. And he's like, I just can't. I can't get it. And I didn't realize it at that moment because he wasn't explaining himself good. So we were on the first day, we were in a A-frame blind. And if you ever hunt an A-frame, usually the grass is all in front of you. You go in there and you make a little hole for you. So when you come up, you have a hole. And we made him a hole. So it was me, it was him, and it was Tony. And then Tony's son and on that way. And I brought a Pelican box type waterproof box that I had the shells in. I brought it one to carry the shells, and I knew that he didn't weigh enough to crush the box, and I knew shooting out of an A-frame, which typically I knew that's probably what we was going to be in, he was going to need every bit of that step that he could get. So, and it worked out perfect. Now, he can shoot. Occasionally, he gets some skeet. Typically, the skeet that's coming at him or, going away. The crossing ones are really hard for him. I mean, heck, crossing ones are hard for me too. But on the way back to the lodge, I'm like, buddy, why didn't you pull the trigger? He's like, I couldn't, Daddy. I'm like, why can't you pull the trigger? You know how to shoot a shotgun. Like, what is going on? He's like, every time I go up, y'all's grass pushes me in. He couldn't see. And I was like, huh, I didn't think about that. So, here I am, my size. Tony's a little bit shorter, but he's my size. Here's two grown men coming up with all this grass. And when we come through the grass, he's so little that it was just collapsing on top of him. And yeah, I wish he would have told us that to start with. We would have changed positions on him. And I kind of felt bad for that. But I didn't know, and he didn't know. And so when we went out that afternoon, that first day afternoon, I knew at that point, hey, we need to change positions, and we put him on a different end of the blind. So going into the second day with that pit, he was able to, come up. The pit had a gate with grass on it. So when he was sitting beside me, when I would push it down, there was nothing in front of him. And let me tell you, that boy was letting that 20 gauge eat. I mean, if one bird flew, that gun was empty. I mean, it wasn't, hey, let me save a shell. Let me send them all. Uh, and I was happy with that too. It didn't bother me. I was happy that he got his first teal. So I mean, he taught. Oh my gosh, he taught my head off about that teal, and it was a great honor to watch him do that. Tony's son got a duck, and then his brother's son got a duck. I mean, it was a great guys trip. Then that afternoon, we went goose hunting again. So in the mornings we went duck hunting, in the afternoons we went goose hunting. This was the second day when that storm was coming through. Again, we were in Arkansas, and if you were in South Carolina, y'all saw that storm Sunday, where we were seeing it Saturday. I mean, it was ripping. Like, I was holding on to the A-frame, helping hold the A-frame down because the wind was blowing so hard. I mean, it was roaring. Um, the snows were working great. I mean, man, we shot a lot of snows. Specklebellies were coming in. That was pretty cool. Got to see both of them. But all the kids get to shoot a snow. That was my first time ever shooting a snow. When you go with somebody, there was 6 of us, and then at one time there was 2 guides, but then one left. But so there was another guy. If you never went on a trip where that many people shooting at so many birds, you really don't know who shot what birds because birds are falling. But it was funny. There was one, and a lot of times I will let him get his first shot in first. But there was this one time I was like, dang it, I don't have a snow on the wall. I'm beating these other jokers up out of this blind. And man, when he said shoot him, that bird, I was already saw that bird, and it was boom, bird down. And there was no question that I got that one. So can't wait. I could check the snow off the list. That definitely makes about halfway through the species list. So that was pretty awesome. Um, Never seen snows decoy. Never seeing them really much in action. Like South Carolina, we don't have snows. I know. My buddy shot one last year. That joker was lost in South Carolina. 100%, he was lost. Occasionally, they do happen, but I mean, he was lost. Occasionally, you see snows up in the Outer Banks in North Carolina. We see snows out in Reelfoot Lake. I mean, they way up there. Occasionally, they might come in, but typically, all the places I hunt, snows are not on that list. And typically, you got to have a lot of decoys for snows. I mean, they are typically a bird that needs a lot of decoys. And I'm talking, I don't know, 12 dozen. I mean, like big spreads. So this was the first time seeing it. It was really cool. I can't wait to one day maybe do a layout in the field and see the tornado feeds and be up under you. I can't wait for that day. But this was the first time actually being able to take a chance of actually taking the snow, and that was pretty awesome. It was it was funny looking back. A lot of times we would see the snows and start shooting, and then the guy would be yelling, "Get the specks!" and be like, "Oh yeah, the specklebellies, they taste better." But here we are not seeing snows, and it's like, "Oh my gosh, look at the snows!" And it was like right there in front of our face. So yeah, there was some opportunities missed on some specklebellies because we were over here looking at the silver when we should have been looking at the gold. But there was silver everywhere. We did miss a blue. Um, yeah, there was one blue that I know that came in and it flew out. So there's that. Yeah, the guys worked hard for us too. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people that go on a guided hunt. So when I say if you go on a guided hunt, and I said this on this channel many, many times, if you go on a guided hunt, try to go for 4 days. 4 days. You can be like, well, that's a lot. Just hear me out. In 4 days, that weather will change. And just like while we were out there, that weather was changing. Especially in the wintertime. When you book a trip, you're usually booking it 6, 8 months in advance. Sadly, what is that? The almanac? Is it not? No, it's the farmer's almanac. That's not going to happen this year. I think this year is the last year of the farmer's almanac. So you're going to have to rely on like Google and stuff to see what predictions of the weather is going to be like. So when you're trying to schedule something out 8 months, you don't know what the weather is going to be like. Like, it could be good, it could be bad, but if you go for 4 days, you're going to have one amazing day. It's going to be like, oh my gosh, I got to do this every year. Now, I will say, hopefully that is not your first day there. Because if your first day there and you like is a barn burner and oh my gosh, you're going to be let down on at least probably 2 more days. Usually you have one good day, you're going to have one terrible day, you're going to have an okay day, and then that 4th day is going to be, I don't know what you're going to get. So if you go on a guided hunt, at least go for 3, try to do 4. Because the weather changes so much, especially out west. Like, especially when you're in the middle of the country, the way the weather comes, 4 days, you could be hot, cold. But with that being said, if it's 70 degrees and you know, looking at the forecast, that it's going to be 30 degrees, you better be prepared for some type of cold front, which usually means a storm. So that night we were out there, the hunt was over, and I was already looking at the radar. Now y'all know I love watching some weather. I am that old guy that looks out the window, keeping up with the weather. I love it. And that's what Tony was giving me a hard time this week. He's like, you said it was going to snow. I was close. They were predicting snow 3 weeks out. It was cold. That afternoon, it was about 30 minutes left. I'm watching the radar, and these winds were moving at 40, 50 miles per hour. And I'm like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, all right, I know when the hunt's over, it's going to be good, but we got like a 40-minute drive back. We need to be getting ready. Tony, I didn't forget about your comment there. I got sidetracked. Got a squirrel moment. Squirrels happen in this room. But anyway, we were watching, typically with a guided hunt, you show up, they say, thank you, here's your seat, and you sit down, you shoot, they go retrieve the birds, come back, and you be like, all right, thank you, and you go back and get in your truck and you go back to the lodge. That's typically how it is. You pay a fee to hunt, and you typically tip the guy or guides or gals if that's the case, but you typically tip them for being a guide. You don't have to clean up. But we're out in the middle of Arkansas, or we're out in the middle of Texas, or wherever we go. We don't drink, we don't party. Heck, the only thing we taking to make our body feel better is some ibuprofen and pain pills. So we told the guys, hey, we'll help you pick up decoys. Like I said, there's at least probably 12 dozen decoys out there. I mean, that's 100 plus decoys, if not more. You're talking full bodies, you're talking socks, you're talking silhouettes, 2, maybe 3 A-frames. All that's got to be picked up because these are all rented fields from farmers. They're not permanent blinds. And holes. Yes, the guys will do it. And they were like, No, y'all go ahead. No, we're gonna help you because it's gonna rain. It's coming. Well, it would be nice. So we started picking all that up, separating, and we get everything back to the truck. And I'm looking at the radar, and I'm like, man, we got to go. We got to go. And we get right back to the lodge, and the bottom just falls out. And man, it was blowing. And I'm talking about it was 74 degrees. 10 minutes after the storm, it done dropped 20 degrees. Before going to bed, it was almost 30 degrees. By that next morning, it was like 40 degrees colder. I mean, it went from, it was worse than a car seeing a state trooper, how fast that temperature dropped. I mean, it was unreal. Uh, so we were hoping for a push of birds, push of new birds. You always want a cold front when waterfowl hunting. You always want some type of wind. If the wind's not blowing, ducks just typically sometimes just sit on the water where they're just feeding. So you want wind, you want cold. The guy was already saying, hey, if it gets too cold, the snows and the specks are going to leave. They don't like it that cold. I mean, it was cold. So the third day was a different plan. But like Tony said, them guys work hard. So when you do go on a guy to hunt and the temperature changes, like, whoa, I didn't mean to hit the camera. But look at my woodies over there. That's a good looking, maybe I'll change the view to that one. But like, how y'all doing? Don't mind my wood ducks over there. But when you go on a guided hunt and it's foggy, or the wind's blowing, or storm, or it's raining, like I said, one day is going to be amazing. One day is going to be the worst day there is. I'm ready to sell everything I got. This is the dumbest thing I ever done. You're going to have that day. And I promise you, if you go 4 days, one of them days is going to be that. And if the first day is a banger or a barn burner, whew, you're going to be let down on maybe at least 1 or maybe 2 days. But with that being said, them guys, like Tony said, they worked hard. And, I can't blow a duck call. I can, let me take that back. I can't do a mallard. There's some that I can do. A mallard, I can quack. I cannot do the feed call or the comeback call. I'll hit it 1 or 2 times and then 2 or 3 times of just terribleness. But I can blow a goose call. And I know what it is. And granted, I am not in shape. So the first person in the comments to say, maybe if you were in shape, that is not accepted in that chat. But it takes a lot of air. Like blowing, these guides start at like 6:50, maybe a little bit before 7, and they blow to 11 o'clock. Anytime they see a bird in range, they are blowing and blowing and blowing. The birds get down. They stop blowing. The birds get spooked. They go back up. They start blowing, and they call them back. And they're going from a goose call to a pintail whistle to a speck. I mean, they're constantly blowing. So when you do go on a guide hunt, do give a tip, because I'm telling you, you got to have some lungs. And when them pintails came in and they went down, he was like, "Thank God, I was tired of blowing." I mean, they just would not. They would not commit. But that third day, whew. So the mindset on the third day was it was 20 degrees. I think when we went out that morning, I think it was like 18 degrees, like feel like temperature. I think the wind was blowing at like 20 miles per hour. It was going to be cold. And like I said, that water where them fields were, where the ducks were, was really thin water. They were thinking that it was going to freeze up. Like I said, that storm went through, oh man, right when it got dark. So let's say 6 o'clock. From 6 o'clock, it almost had 12 hours of coldness. It could easily froze up. They were thinking, hey, it's going to freeze up. We're going to the river. And typically, what do we do here in South Carolina? When the ponds freeze up, we go to the river. Same mindset. We set up, we go to the river, we up there, and I'm talking about frigid. Now, I did have my tideweed stuff on. Um, what's up, Mike? I had everything that I had heated, I had on. Other than my toes and the wind that was hitting me in the face, I was warm. But my little boy, he wasn't doing good. And I'm talking about he had sweatpants on, long johns on, blue jeans on top of it, on top of small pullovers. He had 2 jackets on the toboggan, and he was cold. And I'm telling you, I was cold myself after like 2 hours. But I told him, I said, come on. I went and moved him out of the way because he was just like, my feet are hurting, like my hands are cold. I mean, he had gloves on. I'm like, come on, let's not bother anybody else's hunting. So I took him and moved him out of the way. And I sat there with him. I didn't even hunt. That day was done for me, because at that point it was, hey, I want to take care of him, and I want to make sure he doesn't get any more colder. I'm gonna move this camera back. This thing felt like it was just in my ear, which is probably dirty, which probably can grow some potatoes. But I wanted him not to be cold, so I gave him another jacket that I had, and I activated it with the tideweed heated stuff. If you are looking for some jackets, yes, I make tideweed videos, but I'm telling you, their jackets, they're heated, are amazing. The vests are amazing. Any of that heated stuff is great. I wish they made a heated socks or some heated boots, because once my feet get cold, I just it just hurts painfully. But I took my jacket and wrapped him up. I mean, you couldn't even see his face. His face was under another shirt. I had him warm. That's all that matters. But looking at text, um, he was cold, so I just sit over there with him and kept my body heat up. I think on the third day, and I could be wrong, I think there was like 12 of us along that river, and I'm talking about a big river, and there were decoys everywhere. There were teal, but they were just not having it. I mean, it was like that day, like I said, one day you're gonna have a terrible day, and it was that. Yeah, I mean, the wind was blowing so hard, it was rough. I mean, it was bad. So we went back. You sleepy? Me sleeping? No, I ain't sleepy. I'm jacked up, man. Got Dr. Pepper in my system. Um, so we left that day. That was the end of the hunt. We wanted to see how far we could get back, because I think that was around lunchtime. Went back to the lodge, packed everything up, and we left. We didn't want to drive all the way into the night, because coming back from Arkansas or Memphis or anywhere around there, you got to remember you're going to lose an hour of time zone. So regardless of how fast you're driving, once you cross over into that time zone, you just lost an hour. So we didn't want to drive and get home at like 5 o'clock in the morning. So we were going to drive as far as we could and hopefully get past Nashville, um, and call it a night. And man, that wind was blowing so hard. We took 2 vehicles, because there were 6 of us. You ain't getting all of us in one truck. So we took 2 trucks, all kind of clothes, ammo, stuff like that. And Tony was in front, and there was an 18-wheeler in between me and him. And we had walkie-talkies, radios, and I wish I could have got it on camera, but an 18-wheeler was in front of me, and I'm telling you, the wind was blowing so hard that the 18-wheeler, the trailer part, he was in his lane, but the trailer part was off the shoulder of the road. And I'm telling you, I already lifted and was putting on brakes because I thought that truck was going over. He saved it. He came back into the lane, and I'm like, Tony, did you see that? He was like, yeah, I saw that. And instantly he was back off the road again, and I thought for sure he was going to roll it. And we got to and this was going around curves and stuff, and I'm like, oh man, the first straightaway, I'm passing this truck, and first straightaway, I let that little V6 Silverado eat, and we passed that truck, and I don't know what happened to him. Hopefully he made it, but I mean, it literally felt like my truck had a part brake on, like the whole trip to Nashville, because the wind was blowing so hard that it would push the truck, and it felt like if you had cruise control on, it was kicking cruise control off, because I mean the wind was unreal. I can't explain it, but it was one heck of a cold front, and I'm sure that next day they had a heck of a hunt. But we made it past Nashville. I think we went through Nashville around 7 o'clock. It was I'm telling you, I would not want to live in Nashville. At 7 o'clock, it was bumper to bumper, which I'm sure maybe possibly some of that was probably still Christmas traffic, probably. And some of it could have been New Year's traffic, people coming into the big city. I don't know, but it was slam packed at like 7 o'clock. I mean, it was, I would not want to live in that. It was crazy. We were in one lane. You know, most of the big cities, most of the big interstate, they got the HOV lanes. We're going down through the HOV lane, and we're doing this. We're doing the speed limit, and here's Tony in front, and I'm behind Tony, and speed limit. A U-Haul truck, I'm talking about a big box truck, pulling a car, passes us. I mean, we're moving, and I'm like, dang, how fast is that joker going? Like we pass it and it passes us back. And I'm talking about it passes us and gaps us. But I thought that was very interesting. We finally make it. I don't even know what town that was in Tennessee. We got a hotel and then got supper. And Tony was like, "What time you want to get up in the morning?" I'm like, you off for a while. I'm off tomorrow. We really ain't got nothing to do. I think it'd be fun to go through the mountains of Asheville. Like, I don't know how much time that's going to add, but he done it. It was a great trip. Um, so coming through Asheville, I-40 just got opened back up. I think middle of summer. After the hurricane ripped up I-40 right there, and a lot of the turns. Uh, Let me just say, what you see on the TV of how bad it looks doesn't do it justice. I'm talking about, y'all know that last year I went up to the mountains and helped some for recovery and pulling trees and taking the tractor up there. I knew it was bad, and I know that like Brown Mountain, Black Mountain, one of them mountains, they got hammered really bad. Uh, but the side of the mountain of I-40 was just gone, like gone. I know for a while there they only had one lane open, and then so what they did was you had two lanes of I-40. So there was a section of these two lanes gone. So what they did was they put a cement divider. Now they slowed you down. I think the speed limit was 35. And let me tell you, it was bumper to bumper for I don't even know how many miles. Like many, like hours. But they put cement in between the lanes. So all the interstate was just 2 lanes. But you'd go around the curve, and where you knew the lane was supposed to be, even to this day, nothing. Like it was unreal. And that's why I was telling Tony, I'm like, it's gonna be years before this is all repaired. I mean, like years. Uh, we got down to one section. They had, oh man, I didn't even think about recording it. I didn't even think about counting it, but I know Tony counted, and I remember him telling me the number of dump trucks. And like gravel pit dump trucks, like the dump trucks that when they carry them, they usually take the bed off. They have to take the tires off and then put it on a 18-wheeler and transport these. I think it was like 30 of them. I mean, they were all lined up, and then they had backhoes on the side of the road, and they were putting in these huge boxes. I mean, these boxes look like shipping containers. Um, I think I saw the biggest um, track hoe or bucket of whatever. It had to be the biggest one I've ever seen. You know, in the mines and gravel, they use the buckets that's on these big cranes, and they're big. But this one had to be the biggest one that I ever seen that could move. When we went by it, the bucket was so big. I'm telling you, I think my truck, my extended cab Silverado, not making it up. I think my truck could have went in that bucket, and you would have never saw my truck. That's how big that bucket was. Uh, it was massive, and I mean just rows of it. It was. I would say it would be interesting to go up there and view it, but they probably don't need any extra traffic. So once you get out of the tunnels and you get into going into Asheville, we took a little side road, and we went through the great mountainside. We went to Looking Glass waterfall. We went down and took photos. It was so cold that the mist of the water coming off the waterfall, you couldn't even get on the rocks. Like, it was just like everything was ice. We left there, we cut over and went to Caesar Head State Park in South Carolina, where you can see, if you're in South Carolina, you never seen Caesar Head, I highly recommend it. I found it by accident, and I was driving up the road. We were going to the mountains, and I'm like, oh, look, a state park. Hey, they got restrooms. We pull in, and this was like during the middle of summer. Like, anytime we go to Asheville, I try to take back roads. And this little state park, you wouldn't know anything was there other than a bathroom. And I'm like, what's this cement stop up here? And there's like a little wooden trail. Like, I want to just go see what it is. We walked out, and it is the most beautiful view in South Carolina. I highly recommend it if you're anywhere near Greenville, Taylorsville. I think is it Taylorsville or is it Taylor? Anyway, up there, it's actually in Greenville County. Um, Amazing. When you stand out on that rock, you can see Greenville, you can see Spartanburg, you can see Table Rock, the Table Rock Lake. I mean, it is beautiful. And then if you do go, right beside the rock is a big sign that says Devil's Kitchen. You go down some stairs and you go between boulders. Highly recommend it. Definitely add that to the must see in South Carolina. But we went there, and then we traveled on back to Rock Hill, and I dropped them off and clean out our trucks. So we made it back. We had a pretty good hunt. Ate some pretty good food. Um, we ate some speckle belly that second night. They chef that cooks supper. He took fresh speckled belly, put some seasoning on it, and cooked it like a steak. And I'm telling you, that had to be some of the best waterfowl that I've ever tasted. That speckled belly was amazing. It was so good that my son was eating it. And that actually shocked the rest of us because, you know, I may be picky, but he's extra picky. And I just noticed that I didn't even turn them lights on tonight. But it was amazing. I mean, he cooked it just like I would eat a steak. It was just enough blood coming out of it. The seasoning was great. He cut it in little strips. Loved it. So some of that speckled belly that got brought back, it's going to be cooked that way. But we had a good trip. So that was 2025 in a nutshell. So 2026 is coming up tonight. I hopefully some of y'all gonna ring in the new year. Like I said, I was gonna keep up with the football game score over here. Miami is up 14-0 on Ohio. Like that right there may be a upset. But my plans tonight is to definitely go watch that game. Um, got a couple games on tomorrow that I plan to be watching, but 2026 is going to be a good year. Got a couple more trips lined up this year for waterfowl. Got New Jersey coming up and the Outer Banks. We're going to be doing some hunting there. So I don't know. I got my fingers crossed. Uh, Man, the Outer Banks have been tearing them up on some redheads. Oh my gosh, I hope to have a redhead on the wall. I've never shot a redhead. And man, I hope to have a redhead or clown face. You know, Mike, you still on here? That clown face is still on my list. The clown face is the kin to the sea duck over here, the scooters. Old clown face. So that's still on the list, but yeah, we need to start preparing for turkey season. Turkey season is going to be coming up. Hopefully, last year for turkey seasons in South Carolina, they cut out the jakes. So hopefully, not killing any jakes. We're going to have bigger birds this year. That's the hopes. There's some weather coming our way. They keep throwing around the four-letter word snow in South Carolina. What's that going to do? Well, I can tell you what it's going to do. If it does snow, it's going to shut us down. But, you know, I like to see some snow. Maybe them mentioning snow won't scare the snow away and we actually get some. But y'all be watching that weather in the next couple weeks. But hopefully 2026 is a good year. We still got another 1 month of waterfowl season, and then you got Youth Day in February. You got Veterans Day, and then you get a week, maybe 2 weeks. I think it's like 2 weeks of goose season in February, and then turkey season's right around the corner. So y'all better get ready. But hopefully y'all have a good New Year's. If you go out and party, don't drink and drive. I mean, that'd be the dumbest thing you done. Uh, Even a little buzz ain't worth it. I mean, call somebody, call a friend, call. I mean, in this age, we got Uber. Like, I mean, for the most part, you can Uber yourself home. Think about it. DUI, court laws, getting out of jail, Uber, $10. Just Uber yourself home. Call a friend. Don't drink and drive. Um, Especially on New Year's. Don't take out somebody else on the road. I saw it so many times as fire and EMS. The drunk people never get hurt. They're usually so drunk and limber in a wreck. They're like this and they never get hurt. It's always usually the innocent people. So don't drink and drive. If you are probably already drinking, you're probably not watching this channel. So if you are watching this, reach out to your friends. Say, hey, if you're gonna go out partying tonight, give me a call. I'll come pick you up. So me, I said I was gonna stay up and watch the New Year roll around. Honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna make that, but hey, I'm gonna at least try. Maybe I might set an alarm. Wake me up 15 minutes before the ball drops. But until next year, I'll see y'all on the other side. I greatly appreciate it. We finally hit 26,000 subscribers. Um, them last few, man, it was going up 10, dropping 10, up 10, dropping 10. We finally crossed the 26,000 mark yesterday. So I greatly appreciate every single one of you. 26,000 subscribers going into year 2026. It still blows my mind that all them subscribers and how far we came as a channel. And I said as a New Year's resolution, I wanted to spend more time with my family. I definitely want to lose 20 pounds. I say it every year that I'm going to get in shape before turkey season. And I sound like a daggone Peterbilt coming up in them hills, huffing and puffing. But I want to lose 20 pounds. And like I said, I got this YouTube and podcast, and I've been saying for many weeks that as men we should be fellowshipping, we should be telling people about what Jesus is doing in our lives, telling people about God, bringing them in, meeting them where they are in life. I want to do more of that this year. So if you're out in the woods, tell somebody. Just pray at the before the hunt starts. Tell people about what Jesus is doing for you. You have the opportunity to reach people that a preacher in a suit and tie will never be able to touch. So use that as a moment to spread the gospel, and that's what some of my goal is for 2026. I mean, there's 100,000 views a month on videos. If I can insert just a little bit of my life into that, that's what I plan to do. Like I said, I greatly appreciate every single one of you, and I want good and safe things going into 2026. So until next week, y'all stay safe. Um, you go hunting over the holiday, shoot straight, lead them, because most likely you shot behind them. That was me. So y'all stay safe. I'm going to close this in a prayer for 2025. So let's get to it. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for everything you've done for us. Thank you for the blessings that you gave us in 2025. Prepare us, our hearts, prepare our souls, prepare our minds mentally to go into 2026. Thank you for us just celebrating Christmas, of you sending your son to die on the cross for my sins and everybody's sins so we can have eternal life. Thank you for all the blessings you do for us. Thank you for protecting us. Thank you for protecting our family as we go hunting. Thank you for protecting our kids. Thank you for protecting us as hunters. We do we do some sketchy stuff sometimes in a deer stand or in a duck blind or on kayaks. Thank you for looking after us. Thank you for everything you do. Please be with the first responders tonight as they're working all night long. Be with the people that's in this cold weather, the homeless. Let them get to a shelter, keep them safe. And thank you for everything you do. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Y'all be safe. I'll see y'all next year. And here's a word from our sponsors. Matthew Knight, with Satura Investors out of Charlotte. There's the information. The link to his website is scrolling across the banner down at the bottom, and it's also in the description. Today's episode is about helping business owners and working professionals like you who share a passion for the outdoors shooting sports, zeroing them in to their long-term financial goals. So if you need any information or contact or any other questions, contact Matthew. Also, go check out Salt Creek Ammo. This triple curl TSS is some of the best TSS I have ever shot. This is for waterfowl edition. It's made for waterfowl. So if you're going to shoot a species that you've been chasing for a long time, don't use no cheap ammo. You pay good money to go on a trip. You got great guns. Don't cheap out on cheap ammunition. This TSS is amazing. It's got number 7s, number 8s, and he has number 9s. So go check out saltcreekammo.com. Here you will find any kind of ammo you're looking for. He has custom loads, TSS in 10 gauge, 12 gauge, 20 gauge, low pressure ammunition. You got predator ammunition, turkey ammunition, anything you're looking for, give Keith a call. Also to the channel, Kicks Industries, most people will know them as Kick Chokes, has came on board, and I have done a bunch of series lately on waterfowl choke tubes, turkey choke tubes, deer choke tubes. So go check out Kick's website for all of the chokes that can fit your guns. Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC, has partnered up with the channel. It is your go-to provider for all your hauling needs. They are not just any hauling service. They are an active DOT interstate hotshot hauling provider. Flint Ridge Service, LLC, prides itself in its reliable transportation services. This team ensures that your cargo is delivered safely and on time no matter the distance. Whether you need to transport goods across the county or state line, they have the capacity and the expertise to meet your hauling needs. Equipped with a smooth riding 40-foot air ride equipped trailer and a max hauling capacity of 20,000 pounds, there's no load too big or too small that they can't handle. Look no further than Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC.